Hello everyone, I'm Malcolm Payne, a chess international master from the UK, and welcome to the second match in the first Choker Cup. I'm honoured to have with me as co-commentator Jeff Gross, a professional poker player with over $5 million of tournament earnings. Jeff will be offering insights into the poker in Choker, while I'll be commentating on the fast and furious chess phase of this revolutionary game. My thanks to Chess24 for hosting this, and remember, if you want to get involved, you can download the Choker app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Tonight's match is between woman Grandmaster Anna Rudolf from Hungary and Brazil's Mr. Chess, Raffael Santos. It's going to be the best of 5 clashes, and last week we saw International Master Eric Rosen crush Simon Williams, a complete shutout, 3-zip. Jeff, I thought that the poker strategy was a little bit, could we say, almost lacking last week. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think there was definitely some errors in judgment on hand strength and continuing. Part of the game is wanting to bet when you have a very strong hand and fold when your hand is not very good. And we saw, Simon just sort of throw that thought process out the window, and he just was all in and kind of blasting. And I think that could be a bit of, just not having as much experience with the game, but also, maybe not giving the proper respect to the difference in ability. Even let's say you're a better chess player, you still have to respect that if you're dealt a way inferior hand, you may want to pitch it and look for another spot. So I think that was there was definitely he was throwing caution to the wind with that regard last week. I think we're getting ready to start here very quickly.
Excellent.
I just want to make a shout out to Twitch last week, which was May 3rd, that Matt Staples got 3rd place, but there was 3 Twitch streamers in this $215 buy-in on Party Poker that 3 people made the final 5 out of 6,000 plus entries that were streaming. So at the same time, you saw a final 5 people left in this tournament, all on their Twitch feeds, and it was one of the crazier things I've seen in terms of Twitch. So that was pretty exciting to see the whole.
That's amazing.
Players.
So literally streaming their play as they were succeeding in the tournament. That's incredible.
Yes.
I mean, to be able to concentrate, Jeff, on the poker while streaming is also a completely different skill as well.
Yeah.
It's taking it to a whole new level, right?
For sure. It was very exciting.
So it looks like we're in the placement phase or raise. The pot is 16,000. Anna's got a queen. Raphael's just put on a couple of pawns. Both sides have put on a couple of pawns. Okay, there goes a bishop in a very defensive place, directly covering that check. So there was a danger of a check from Raphael. So Anna's covered that. There goes a rook. Right, threatening to come down and zoom down here. So Anna's going to have to cover that. There she is. She's already anticipating that rook coming down, and she's blocked it off with the knight. She's still got a queen to come. So has Raphael. Similar situation, Jeff, to the game I was talking about. It looks like Raphael's got a rook for a knight advantage here. So Anna's trying to think where to put the queen. She needs to stop an invasion down here. Things could get very nasty if that queen arrived on that square. So there she goes. She's covered it.
Yeah, it looks like Raphael could not stream, so we're just going to have Anna's feed.
Okay, queen moves forward. Now, Raphael he's threatening to come down. He's threatening to give checkmate. It's going to be chokemate, as we say. Anna covers that. Oh, that's very sneaky. That is such a clever move because it's also threatening to invade down there on the g3 square. That's very, very clever play from Anna. Okay, Raphael sees that and covers it. Now it's going to be very difficult for Anna to activate. She's going to try and improve one of her pieces. So that bishop is becoming just a little bit active. Rook hits the queen. Queen gives check. Yep, check's been blocked. Now I think Anna maybe move her king. That's it. She's moving it into safety. This could very much come down to the clock. Raffael's actually behind on the clock, I think. Anna's clock is a little bit faded out, but I think I see 101 seconds. Raffael is down to 80. Okay, so he's lining up his bishop on Anna's bishop. I don't think Anna needs to worry about that. Okay, but she's taken it. She didn't have to. Now she'll bring the knight in. There it goes. I think the knight will come in and block. That's what I'm expecting. Yep, that's what we got.
How similar is this to regular chess at this stage now? This is sort of the end game technically, but is this? I mean, these players. I guess it's sort of unique situations, though, right? In regular chess, it's not usually going to be these pieces matched up like this, or
yeah,
it's pretty similar.
It's a pretty common configuration of pieces, but normally, though, you'd say that white would win in normal circumstances. But when one side's got less than a minute left, like Raffael's more or less, anything could happen. Mm-hmm. But it's the knight is a beautiful piece. That knight in the center, it's very well placed. It could even hop in there. I think that's what Anand is thinking of doing. So it's very, very sharp. It's a normal chess configuration of pieces. No, she's going to try and prise him open. Giving a check there. And back. What's the clock times? He's down to 54. She's keeping an edge on the clock very cleverly. I think she's going to go pawn forward now, put some more pressure. Try and rip open the pawns around the king. Or maybe stick that right in his guts, right there. That would be horrible. Yeah, that's what he's tried to stop, I think, Raffael. But he's allowed another check. King runs away, but now Raffael is losing a pawn. And his king might be vulnerable to another check. Oh, a little intermediate move there, hitting the queen. Be careful, Anna, be careful. She could nip there, threatening there. That could be nasty, but there could be a secondary threat here.
He's down to 33 seconds as well. He's got
pawn there. Pawn there is going to be evil. Okay. Is there going to be a way for Raffael to do? I think yes. If he's really brave, he's done it. He's gone it. And now it's just checks. Anna is losing the knight. She's losing the knight. She's going to be a whole rook down, but she's just gone for broke. But I think she's going to get checkmated on the back rank, what we call the back rank. That's this back rank here. Yeah, she's shaking her head, Jeff. Check. And now we're going to see when you can coordinate the pieces, you usually get checkmate. Yep, mate in one is possible if he can see it. There it goes. Checkmate. Rafa wins the pot, Jeff.
Wow. Nicely done. The underdog, as we say, maybe or maybe not an underdog, but that was a strong showing there. Takes the first part of this battle. It's nice to get the first one.
Okay, so the blinds are going to increase. Big blind, 1,500. So Anna's got 2 pawns.
Yeah, not what you want. Obviously, the pawns is not as exciting.
So we got a promotion there because Anna did 3 pawns. Fairly small pot, right, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, she got the Empress, no? With the 3, she got 3 at full house at the 3 and 2. So she got to upgrade to a queen.
And she got an upgrade to a rook as well, I think, when she got her 3rd pawn.
Yeah, 2 pawn, good for promotion. That is, so we see a nice, it turned out to be a pretty good draw for her.
Oh, a second rook. That's pretty decent. Both those rooks on open files with enormous scope to go up and down the board. So this is funny, Jeff, that this is not a normal chess strategy, but essentially Raffael is wrapping his king in pieces. I don't think he's planning on going anywhere. This would be known in soccer as parking the bus.
Yeah. Well, that's the four. She had 4 pawns, so the 4th pawn promotes to a queen. It's a huge, huge hand she got dealt. So I would, she's got to have a pretty significant advantage. You see the pot is at 4K at the moment, and this is definitely she's got a big piece advantage here.
She's got to capitalize on this. Okay, she's got two rooks and a pawn against 3 minor pieces. It's 11 against 9. But look at those minor pieces. They're stuck on the back rank, 2 of them. One of them looks tremendous in the middle, that knight. I'm going to expect at some point Anna will move her pawn forward to shift that. Just get it out of the way. Oh, that's nasty. So there's now a horrible double attack on that knight. It's covered by the queen for the moment. So, yep, Raffael's gone right back into his hunkering down mode. Okay, Anna's just made a little move of the queen, allowed a check. I think she's trying to make him come out of his shell. Bishop there, blocking the rook move. Very wonky rook move that I've just shown.
How big a favorite is Anna in this particular setup right here?
I think she was a bigger favorite at the start of the game, but now she can zoom in with the rook and give a check right down the back. And that would force the bishop to go back into its little hidey hole. And at that point, I don't think Raffael's got any good moves. The question is, can Anna actually make progress? She's got him stuck there. So what she's trying to do, look at that. That's incredible, Jeff. Anna has forced Raffael's pieces back to where they were at the beginning of the game almost. And I think he's in danger of running out of moves. She's just got him just where she wants him. The only thing she has to watch out for counterplay down here, but I don't think that's going to lead anywhere. So she's absolutely dominating the position. She's invaded. Yep, she just moved that king out of the way. Raffael will have to move back. I think Anna's going to try and force an exchange of queens, maybe. Or possibly she'll advance one of her pawns. We'll see. Literally, look at that. Look at the situation. That bishop can't move because it's pinned to the king. It would be an illegal move. You can't move that bishop. That knight is very busy defending that knight. That knight is also pinned by the rook. Yep, she's gone for it. That's what I thought. She's just going to try and open it up and just see if Raffael just literally runs out of moves. But he's still wriggling. He's still wriggling. How's the clock times? 48 seconds for Anna, 46, 45. Gosh, Raffael's been playing quicker this time.
Man, this looks close, even though it feels like Anna's got such a lead, but at the same time, it looks too close to call. Is she still sitting pretty?
I'd say she's actually standing worse because of the clocks. Look at this. She's only got 33 seconds against 91. So Raffael's, I think maybe he figured he played too slowly last time. Okay. So she's got the queens off. She's managed to exchange the queens. She might be able to squeeze him even further. There we go. Brilliant move by Anna. She's liquidating. Right, she has got 26 seconds to force through this completely one endgame. Rook and 2 pawns against knight. It's absolutely winning in a normal game of chess. She just needs to avoid any blunders, and she's going to try and force this e-pawn through. Somehow she might get a chance. Rook takes knight will win here, surely. Rook takes knight, Anna. Rook takes knight, just wins. She's done it. Well done. Although that's giving up rook for knight, because of what we call the zugzwang, black has no sensible moves here. Okay, so now she's won a pawn. She's going to promote another pawn to a queen. She's got 12 seconds to do it. The pawn has got to go forward 2 squares. You always lose kind of part of this. Come on, choose the queen quickly. Right, it's a race against the clock to checkmate, win. 8 seconds. She should be able to do it. Her blitz technique is everything that matters here. It's the only thing that matters is can she do it? She's got 5 seconds left. She's forcing the king into the corner. You force the king into the corner. She's pre-moving. I think I can see that mouse pre-move. No, that didn't work, that pre-move. Whoops. Oh, that's not optimal. It's going to lose half a second there. Come on, Anna. Come on. You can do it. Oh, she's down to... No, she's run out of time. It's a draw. The pot is split. She couldn't checkmate in time. The rule that applies there is that because Anna lost on time. She ran out of time. She doesn't lose because Raffael only had a bare king. So Raffael would have been unable to win by checkmate because he had just a bare king left. Goodness me, what a match.
Interesting. Very exciting. That was,
Whoa.
wow. Yeah, that was, it looks, I mean, that's a win for Raffael, right? I mean, he was.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd say that's the first game we've seen in Choker where a player survived a material disadvantage after the placement phase. So after the betting phase. So Raffael, that was a real win for Raffael. I'd say that's a psychological win as well. He resisted her. And his strategy was brilliant. He just surrounded himself with pieces and said, "Come and get me." You know, I'm just going to sit here almost in there's a chess opening called the Hedgehog, where white sets up all his pawns on black sets up all their pawns on the third rank, and it's called that because if white gets too close, those pawns might take you. Almost like you get pricked by the hedgehog. He just curled up into a ball. It was sort of like a choker hedgehog. That game, absolutely amazing. Oh, here we go. I can see Anna looking very, very focused on the screen, taking a deep. She's looking seriously focused, very focused. Okay, we're into the betting phase. 10K apiece.
Oh, so I thought she still had 2K left. Did they finish that one out?
Yeah, I think they finished that one out. I think that might have been a malfunction on the screen because Raffael is one up on the score.
Okay, so that's a clash. He has one.
Yep, he has one clash. Yep.
So it's very similar to tennis, where there's games instead of set, it's clash, and then to win the match, how many clashes? And here we're playing best of 5, correct? So 1-0 is Raffael at the moment. He needs to get to 3. Whoever gets to 3 first.
Okay, there was Anna folded. Gave away the big blind, 1,000 chips.
Yeah, so you can see we're talking about you want to be solid and selective, which is important, but you can see after losing a couple of folds, you're going to be at a pretty big disadvantage as well. So you can't just be too passive here in this format.
Bishop and a pawn. Oh, bishop and 2 pawns. Third pawn. Okay, so the third pawn at least has been upgraded to a rook.
But no draw for a full house here then, right? So she could get...
Not yet.
Okay.
What's that? Yep, there we go. Third identical piece promotes to a queen.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Wow.
All right, so now we see the betting phase. This is where there's some strategy involved. So she is going to raise, not go all in, but bets, and now puts the pressure. We can't see Raphael's whole cards, but he has got so he decides to lay it
He's
down.
folded.
So there we go. We see a bet and takedown.
Yep.
And sometimes, that's a good result for Anna, but at the same time, when you have that strong a hand, maybe you want to go and you don't want your opponent to fold because you want those chips to go in the middle. So
You've got to lure him in, right?
Yep.
Bishop and pawn for Anna again. Not fantastic.
All right, I see some players checking. No betting done.
Ooh, queen. Queen for Anna.
See a check from Raphael, and now she is going to start betting. Figuring out how much to bet. Raises up
raised
to
him.
3,000.
Okay.
And takes it down again.
Oh, well done.
All right, we're seeing a little more poker than last time. Last week it was pretty much there was never it was always just get to the playing part. Here we're seeing some actual folds, which is showing you there's maybe a little more thought process going on what you should be calling with, what you should be folding with. So seeing some of that aspect of the game displayed.
Wow, big blind, 3,000 already. Goodness. It goes up really fast in Choker. Knight, rook, and 2 pawns. Yeah, she checks. Oh, a queen. That's a decent hand. That's what, 9, 11, 14, 17. And so that's slightly above average, right?
Yep, and she is going to call. So now we see all in. So if she were to lose this match, she would still have 5K chips. So this is all in for Raphael, and Anna has a little less pressure, but she would be have a significant underdog in chips if she were to lose, but she would not be beaten in this. She still would have backup. She's still got a chance if she loses this.
There's a lot more at stake for Raffael. So he's down to, you can see that they both start with 180 seconds. So Raffael's down to 165 seconds. Your time is used up even in the placement phase while it's your turn to place a piece. Again, that's very defensive from Raffael, Jeff, putting the bishop right next to the king instead of putting it somewhere aggressive. I suspect he knows that he might have a material disparity unless he's just being very cunning about this. I don't know. Okay, so there goes the rook, threatening to come down and give checkmate in one move. Anna covers that off immediately. She's still got her queen to come. I suspect Raphael's got a queen as well. Otherwise, surely he wouldn't have bet, would he? Yeah, there we go. So we have, this is unusual. This is unusual. We have material equality. Both sides have rook, what we call a minor piece, a bishop and knight, and queen, plus 2 pawns. So it's down to who's the better chess player here.
And how big an advantage is it to go last, though, in this? And if they have the same pieces, but you have the button per se in poker, you get to act last.
Well,
is that
whatever,
a big advantage?
Whatever advantage you have by placing last is kind of negated by the fact that white's moving first. So I don't think it's much of an advantage. Anna's lurched in with the queen there, threatening the rook. The rook goes to hide away. Note that if Raffael puts his queen down there to give mate, Anna's knight will just nip in there and say, no, it isn't checkmate. So she's got that nicely covered. So she's doing the same move that Raffael did, putting that knight in a huge square in the center of the board. Raffael activates his bishop. Well, that's not very nice because that was covering that square, the escape square for the king. Ooh, Anna's king is a little bit weak now. Raffael could start coming down here, giving some checks, causing some trouble. And it's, you know, Jeff, even if the checks don't give mate, the forcing nature of the checks make you lose more time. Mm-hmm. So Anna's got to be real careful about how she plays here. I think she maybe needs to move her king to safety. Maybe king f7 is a good move. Yeah, maybe that's a good move. Just trying to get out of there, actually, in some ways. And then maybe her rook will have a chance to come across here. Oh, that's very aggressive from Raffael. Okay, so he's attacking the knight, first of all. But secondly, that pawn might come in and exert pressure on that diagonal again. The same thing that happened in the other game when Raffael won the knight. At the same time, he's allowing queen and knight to get near his king. Now, we have a saying in chess that was devised by the English Grandmaster Julian Hodgson, queen and knight, they're all right. And the reason is that queen and knight tend to coordinate rather well. The reason for that is that their abilities are complementary, whereas the queen can cover diagonals, horizontal, vertical, and knight can do this weird L shape, and no other piece can do that. So queen and knight together can be a really deadly attacking force. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I'm worried about Anna's king, but maybe rook b8. Yeah, maybe rook across to this square will threaten the bishop and maybe come down and give another check down there. That could be nasty. Okay, he's opened her up along this rank, but there's no immediate way to exploit it. And I really love the way, this is brilliant chess from Anna, I love the way that her queen is defending her rook long distance. Okay, there's a check, king goes into the corner, check again. Anna doesn't want to, what's the clock time? 69, plays 77, roughly speaking equal. Okay, Anna's offering a trade of queens. She's going to try and outplay him in the endgame. But Raffael doesn't want an endgame. I think king d8 you want to play.
How familiar would you imagine these players are with each other, or understanding who's stronger? If they, like a trade for a trade, do you think that Raphael's at Anna's level and vice versa? Are they aware of their strengths and weaknesses as players?
I don't know. I found it quite hard to track Raphael's chess on the database. But I do think that Anna is supposed to be the stronger player here. But I think Raphael has played a lot of blitz. He's coming across as like a speed chess specialist, which kind of negates the disparity in ratings. He's just giving her these annoying checks and just trying to grind her down on the clock. And we could get a threefold repetition. A threefold repetition of the position in chess is a draw. Yeah, check again. How's Anna going to avoid it? Well, she'll have to go to f8. Yep, draw. Technical draw. We repeated the exact same configuration of pieces appeared on the board 3 times. And in chess, that is a draw. So Anna was
Very interesting. I didn't realize
unable to get the edge there. But I guess Anna won't be too worried about that. Jeff, in poker terms, she's still got the bigger stack, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at this. She has 10.5 and 3.5, and you can see the pot is now 8,000 if he calls. So he's at 11,500. So actually, if she calls, and she has 2 pawns, so this is a tough decision.
Ooh, she's called it. Okay. We were talking about this last week. 2 pawns isn't an automatic fold, hey? Oh, that's a lousy hand. Oh, dear.
Oh, she knows it. You see her shaking her head. She realizes that was not what she wanted, and now they're back in the same situation where if she were to lose, she would still have 5,000 remaining and still be in, but she is at a significant disadvantage, you would imagine.
Oh, I think she went 1 bet too many, right? She probably should have folded one maybe after card 4. Yeah. She's hoping for the queen, right? But we'll see. I mean, we don't know what Raphael's got, right? But if he's got a queen, she's going to be in big, big trouble. Maybe she'll try. Yeah, she's trying his setup. Oh, this is amazing. So they're learning from each other. So she's copying Raphael's sort of park the bus, hunker down setup. She's just defending with 2 knights and just saying, come and get me. You've got 150 odd seconds to give checkmate. Now, where's she going to put that bishop? Don't know where she puts the bishop. Okay, she's attacking his rook. He's going to have to deal with that. That's a direct threat. That bishop is going all the way along diagonal. Going to take that rook if he doesn't do something about it. That's good. That's making him use up time. Great move, Anna. So she's 10 seconds, 11, 13 seconds ahead.
Yeah, and that's a queen, we imagine, right? Behind?
We reckon. Oh, it was only a rook. Okay. Oh, no, this isn't as bad as I thought. Now, the first thing is that Raphael is threatening checkmate in 1 move. If that rook comes down there giving check to the king, what we spoke about last week, ABC, avoid block capture. You either avoid the check, block the check, or capture the piece. Anna would not have any of those options available. She's made a little escape square. So that mate threat is no longer a problem. Okay, she's just moving her knight, activating her knight, get her king away from the rooks, just generally move away from them, and just, if you like, just create this constellation of pieces, and just hope that she can survive. Maybe she could even consider going pawn there, actually, just to cause a bit of confusion. I think her best chance is to win this on the clock. She needs to just move real fast. Rook attacks bishop, bishop moves. Now that's vulnerable to a knight hit. There it goes. Oh, probably wasn't the right move, bishop there. It's just given Raphael a tempo to move that knight into a beautiful central square and hit the bishop. Maybe that bishop just needs to drop back a square. I don't think she should allow the trade. It's defended by the knight, but okay, she's gone pawn takes pawn. She's offered the trade. I think she shouldn't really trade pieces when she's down material. But on the other hand, I guess what she might be saying is, leave me with the 2 knights. The 2 knights are so tricky in speed chess. Knights are the greatest thing in speed chess because they move in this weird L shape. And a knight in the center of the board is a heck of a piece, you know? It can move to 8 squares. It's a fantastic piece, a knight in the center of the board, which is why Raphael says, go away. Okay, knight retreats. It's just, this is going to come down to the clock now. 100 seconds against 93. Yeah, that's a clever move.
Much different matches than we saw last week. This is a much different, more calculated, more small ball, if you will, more bet sizing and going post flop instead of last week. We saw a lot of all ins.
Yeah, altogether more sophisticated. Hey, I think it's a higher level of choker. So what's going to happen is that because these rooks are more powerful pieces than the knights, black is just going to slowly try and progress. Just slowly take up places in white's territory. So maybe the rook might come down here. Maybe this rook might come down here. Ooh. Oh, another check. Oh, that's nasty. Anna's going to be in serious trouble now. Yeah, she's going to be in serious trouble because there's going to be a liquidation. Ah, Raphael actually missed a stone cold win there with a different check. Anna's managed to survive 1 more move. There was actually a direct win available for him there, which he missed. So it's 43 seconds, plays 81. Okay, he moves. Anna moves quickly. She needs to get back on the clock. I think she'll tickle his rook. Yep, go away. It's interesting that all the squares on the d file are covered by Anna in her territory, so Raffael can't actually penetrate her position. She's set up a very clever defense here.
Yeah, Anna losing some clock.
Yeah, she's got to move quicker. She's 30 seconds down.
How common is what we saw last game to have 3 of the same setups, positions in a draw? I don't think I've ever. Is that 1 in 100? Is that
it happens at the top level? How often? That's a good question. I don't know. I guess it happens maybe 1 every 50 to 100 games, something like that you get a draw by repetition. Very often in chess, one side's moves are kind of forced. Oh, we have a fork. Raffael has blundered. He's allowed one of his rooks to go for one of the knights. Anna's survival chances have just been enhanced. Yep, knight there. Quickly, Anna. Make the move. Let me get rid of that red mark. Check. Very good that she's covering this square because it means Raffael can't attack the pawn. She just has to go up and down with her king. This is a bit like the last game. One side hasn't got very many moves, so they're easy to make, but she needs to move really, really fast. I think she's just going to lose on the clock, Jeff. I don't see how she survives 42 seconds against 14. I just don't see how she can survive. He's just going to run her down. I think he's just going to play a series of nonsense moves. Any moves will do, really. Anything that makes her use time. 8 seconds. Check to the king. King out of check. Check again. It's just a matter of the clock now. Neither side is doing anything remotely constructive, but this doesn't help Anna. She's just going to run out of time. The king now, though, Raffael's got a plan. He's a man with a plan. Coming in to invade and take this pawn around the back. Oh, brilliant move from Anna. Oh, this completely changes the game. Oh, but she lost on time. Just when she was almost saving the chess, she lost the game on time. Oh, frustrating. Yeah.
But look, it's not over. So now you see a 3-1 lead. So 15,000 chips to 5,000. The blinds have gotten pretty big. So this is, I think that's it, right? She's all in. I mean,
she's all in anyway, right?
Yeah. She's in with the 5K. So this is a must-win game. Well, actually, I guess technically he could fold, right? It's going to be. Is that right or no? He could lay it down. But
they're going for it.
Yeah.
And she's got to defend without a queen again. So that's what, 15 points. So she's got 2 rooks. 2 rooks is not too bad.
Wait, how? I'm just so I understand correctly. So there's 20,000 total chips. Is that right?
10,000 each. Yeah.
10,000. So why? I thought this says it says that he has 12,500 chips up top, but is it the match? This game is the match is 10,000 in the middle right now, because that would be more than 20,000, wouldn't it?
It would be. It'd be 22.5. That's a little bit strange. I don't understand that, but either way, if she loses, she's lost this clash, right?
Would that make sense because there was a tie? I'm not sure if there would be extra. I don't think there would be extra chips added, though. Maybe we get clarification on that.
Oh, that's a good point.
But I don't know if that makes sense either. So let's. That's all right. It says it's a Choker Cup. We're learning as we go, and this is a new format, new game. So we'll try to get an answer on that.
So the rook, Anna's placed the rook defensively. Normally, I would have expected her to put it here, threatening to go down there, but she's placed it very defensively. Not quite sure I understand that. Maybe she's worried that Raphael's got a queen. So yeah, Raphael takes the open G line. Look at that letter G where the red dot is on the screen. That's the G file. Raphael's taken control of that. Anna's offering a trade. Immediately. That's interesting. Material, again, is equal. So Raphael didn't have... Oh, goodness me, Raphael had a forced win there. He missed it. Oh, goodness me. He could have gone rook check and bishop check, the old 1-2. That would have been the end of the game. Gosh, Anna's very lucky there. Okay, knight there. Threatening knight takes pawn check because that pawn will be pinned by the rook. Raphael deals with that rather comfortably and actually improves his king at the same time. Now, Anna should probably go knight g6 now. Try and get pawn to f4 or something. Yep, good move, Anna. But now the king needs to move. Come on, get your king into the game. Raphael's certainly playing pretty good chess, although he's missed a couple of tactics. I think Anna's ideal square for the king is the one that I've put. Basically, Anna wants her king on a green square, what we would call a black square in chess. You want your king on the opposite coloured square to your opponent's bishop so that it can't be harassed. Oh, come on, Anna, pawn forward check. That could be quite a nice little move. Now the king has to move away a little bit. Right, now maybe pawn forward might be good. Put a bit more pressure on there, or maybe relocate the knight. Would love to get this knight somewhere where it's checking the king, like try and get it there, but I just don't see how we do that. That's really, really hard.
Which type of chess player skill set do you think is for choker best suited? The blitz or regular? Is there which format is favorable for choker?
It's all about blitz. In fact, it's almost like I think bullet players would be good. Bullet is where you have 1 minute only on the clock. Raphael's just blundered, by the way. I think he didn't notice that Anna could take with the knight, so the knight's come into the game with check. It's not fatal if he finds the right move now, but he has to be a little bit careful. He's found the right move. Okay, rook takes pawn check. But more material is coming off the board. It's only one pawn left each. But I would prefer to be Anna because she's got the knight, and knights are tricky. Knights are great in blitz, Jeff, because of the random way they move, because they move in this weird L shape.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Raphael's lost the connection. Just looking at the rules, clash has started, first game complete. I think you might get an abort unless he's back in. Is he back in? Yeah, he's back in. Bishop's gone to d5. King goes to e5, attacking the bishop horizontally. Bishop runs away. Anna needs to be careful. There was a little sneaky check coming there. Now both sides are going to try and get their pawn down the board. So Raphael's move is anticipating that. Again, how's Anna managed it? She's 30, 40 seconds down on the clock. This is really serious. She's going to have to move faster if she's going to survive in this game. Maybe she can try and head for a draw. Oh! I wonder if Raphael actually saw that coming, or maybe he's already planned to go rook d8. Yeah, I think Anna might have missed that. Rook d8, pinning the pawn. Anna thought maybe that she had a good attack. She's giving a check, but she's going to have to try and hang on to that pawn. It's a great move by Anna. Now the knight can come to b4 and cover the pawn. Oh, she's gone for a sacrifice instead. Okay, it wasn't necessary, but I think she wants to liquidate Jeff, try and get a position where Raphael can't force checkmate by forcing more material off the board, and then have the game declared a draw even if she runs out of time. Okay, her king is coming to try and take the promotion square, both sides vying for control of that key square where the pawn promotes. It's knight and pawn. This position is a dead draw. This position is absolutely a theoretical draw, but Anna will be declared lost if she runs out of time. She has to find a way to get the white rook off the board. If she can't get the white rook off the board and leave Raphael with insufficient mating material, as we call it, she will lose on the clock. She's got 10 seconds to do that. Okay, she's got the pawn all the way down the board. Raphael's got to be really careful. He's got to be really careful. At any moment, that pawn might queen. Anna's now... Good move, Anna. Threatening to queen. I think she's forced the draw. Raphael's going to... Oh, he's still playing for the win. Goodness me. He's going to try and run her down on the clock. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. He's going to try and avoid repetition by oscillating in a different square to the rook. Yeah, this is blitz technique, Jeff. He's just going to run her clock down. She can't find a way to force repetition. Yeah. No, she did. He allowed it. Wow, he didn't need to do that.
It's definitely different than in match. A little more technical, a little more play than last week when we just kind of saw some bombing all ins, some play. So
the score's updated, and Raffaele is 2-0 up. So this really is a must-win clash for Anna.
Yep, 2 clashes to 0. It's again game clash match instead of set, sort of similar to tennis in that respect. Mm-hmm. But first to 3 and it's over. So 2-0 is hard to overcome. No question about it.
Yeah. Now, getting the draw didn't help Anna because I guess she didn't have enough to cover the big blind, so she's out of that clash. It's 2-0. Interesting that Raffaele I can detect in his play that he's a very, very experienced blitz player. He's got some tricky techniques, and he's moving much quicker. He just seems more dexterous with the mouse. That's also a key thing in blitz chess. You get that little edge. If you can, particularly in a situation where we've basically got 120 seconds. I mean, okay, it's 180 seconds before the placement phase begins, but usually the players are down to about 120, 140 for all their moves. If you've got that little edge by being a little bit quicker on the mouse, that split second quicker on the mouse, and you're playing 50 or 60 moves, it's going to add up eventually, and it leads to an appreciable advantage on the clock. I think Anna's just got to play quicker, place quicker, otherwise she's out of this match. I think we're just learning as we go, and the players are learning as they go. But okay, we're off. Betting phase.
Okay, so this is Anne's got a smile on her face. She knows this is it. This is time to shine. If she wants to keep this going, this is a must-win clash for her. And we see we're off and moving.
Bishop and rook, that's pretty decent. That's very decent. I mean, if she were to get a queen on the next card, that would be huge. So she's already got 16 points, and she's got a card to come. So surely she's going to raise him.
Again, this is round 1, match 2. We see there it is, a victory already. Going to take the lead there. Looks like Anna got the fold there, right? So she's up 11K to 9K.
11-9.
Yeah. So a slight lead, but it does matter.
2 pawns.
It's nice to cover, right? Because that means at any point, if you were to be all in, you could win, and vice versa. If you are down and you lose, you could be all in and be out. So having it's same thing in a heads-up poker match. It's always so important to cover people to have more chips, because you're in theory not at risk if you are covering. You can end it, but vice versa. It's an advantage. It's a big advantage to have a chip advantage. And we see more. This pot is building 9,000 already in the middle. So this is a big pot.
2 rooks and a knight. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad. It's 15, 10, 13, 15 points.
Who do you think is more tense here, Malcolm?
I think Anna. And I'm not saying that just because we've got a still picture of Raffael smiling at us.
Yeah. It's also, there's a good chance of an Empress there for Anna. She had a 50% chance.
Right.
Didn't get it, but
she nearly got an upgrade, yeah. Gosh, Raphael's not... I wonder if Raphael's got any pawns, because he's placed a bishop first. Is that some kind of psychological ploy, or is it just because he's actually got five pieces and no pawns? Very interesting.
Let's see here. And you can see this would be if Anna takes us down, or if Anna does not win here, she would still have 2,000 chips remaining, whereas Raphael is all in this particular how this is played out. So essentially, though, if you're down 18,000 to 2,000, it's pretty, again, hard to overcome a 9-1 deficit, but it's possible.
So Anna's keeping her 2 rooks in reserve. She's looking very considered. She's keeping her 2 rooks in reserve. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. It's that right there. That's my opponent's got a queen smile. Okay, so she just does the best she can to cover it. Yeah, but she's incredibly vulnerable down this right flank here, Jeff. Another queen? Oh.
There goes no poker face anymore. That's
how many seconds has Raphael got? He's got 136 seconds. Yeah, it won't take him long to dismantle this. Anna is wide open on this. Yeah, there he goes. He's in there immediately. She's so vulnerable here. This knight. It's actually, there's no defense to this. He's just going to pile up with queen, and it's just splat basically. It's all over. This is actually how any chess player can beat the world champion. If you had this position against Magnus Carlsen, I think you'd win.
I don't know. I'm not sure I get it done, but it's
I back you.
You take a piece. Yeah, it's all over but the crime. This is
It's a massive disparity. I think this is the biggest hand we've seen. So what is it? 18, 23, 29. 29 points. Woof. 2 queens, a rook, a bishop, and a knight. Okay, it's mate in 1. Rook takes knight. That was all over. That was easy. That was never a game.
Wow, that was quick and painless.
Oof, 9-1, as you say, Jeff. That's going to be tough. What's the big blind? Okay, so Anna's got the small blind, so
with 2K, but so yeah, she's all in here. This is
she's all in.
She can either she has to check or be all in, but I guess the same thing. She's there's right in the middle, and she can't fold. So
right. And I think Raffael knows this, so she's not getting any cards. I'm afraid she's not getting any heavy pieces. She hasn't got a queen. She's committed to playing anyway, and pretty much. And yep, I think this is, unless Anna is very fortunate and Raffael has got an incredibly weak configuration of pieces, she's out. He's just thinking about where to put his... Has he frozen? His clock's not going. I think Raffael might have frozen, or we might have a slight internet connection because his clock's not showing. And it's... Yep, we've got a game freeze momentarily. Hopefully we'll get it back soon. Yep. So we've got the equivalent of cricket's Duckworth-Lewis rules in Choker. Essentially, if you get a game freeze, which we did there, and one player has more than 70% of the buy-ins, then he's awarded that clash. So because Raffael is awarded that clash, that's 3 clashes to 0, and he's won the match. He goes into the next round.
Wow, just like that.
So yeah, wow, that was a completely different match from yesterday. Amazing. Gosh, Jeff, what was your general take today? I think just incredibly good chess by Raffael. Yeah, and incredibly good poker. Just tremendous choker.
Yes, that was a very strong display. And again, sometimes chip distribution, or if you will, card distribution, how things broke out, it was a bit unlucky. I think we saw for Anna, it came down to that initial, she couldn't close out that blitz segment, which would have been a big swing for everything. So I think that's kind of what stands out to me, that when she had the big advantage, the time just ran out on her. The speed of play for sure was noticeable, that Raffael was a very rapid play.
Yep, I think he had maybe in the betting phase they were kind of matched in terms of their strategy, but he certainly had the edge. He got somewhat better cards, but I think the key was his blitz technique. He was just quicker on the mouse, and he had that kind of that sudden speed of thought in the critical situation when there's no time at all, just to make the right call, and surviving that queen and king, as you say, queen and king against king. It's also such a massive psychological boost. I think that might have been, although we didn't realize it at the time, it might have been the decisive moment in the match early on. But a completely different contest from last week. I think that next week we're going to get another completely different kind of contest with two really good poker players and 2 amateur chess players. Should be a completely different focus. It seems like we can get so many different varied kinds of battles in Choker. It's one of the great things about it, and that will be on the same channels as you're watching now. Again, at the same times, just a week from now. Jeff, can I ask you for a favorite next week? What do you think?
I mean, I
put you on the spot.
I gotta go with Bill, just because I know he has some chess ability, and I just don't know Matt's how much he at all. So I'm just going off of my knowledge of Bill.
Right.
I'll pick Bill. Wild Bill.
Okay. Well, Jeff, thanks very much for joining me tonight and shedding light on the poker in the Choker. It was a tremendous battle, very enjoyable. Actually, closer than the 3-line scoreline suggests. In a sense, there were just a few key moments. I'm now going to interview Anna. and get her take on proceedings. So thanks very much, and see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Anna, well, commiserations on what was a really tough match. I thought that it was actually really, really close, no matter what the scoreline suggests. There were kind of some critical moments. What was your take on it?
I thought, first of all, congratulations to Raffael, because I do think he deserves the win for today's match. I was trying my best, but today I think he was somewhat luckier with the cards, but not too lucky. I thought that his strategy was better because he did fold a couple of times when he must have had worse hands. And he realized whenever I raised that I must have a good hand. So he didn't go for those games. We never got to see his cards in those situations.
Yes.
But he managed to lure me into the opposite when he had good hand and strong hands. He almost always had a queen, and I had just like a rook and a minor piece. So I think he was very smart with luring me into those moments when I somehow had the confidence that maybe his hand is just an average, and no, he always had a queen and heavy pieces. And
Yes.
the betting strategy was much better on his side, I think.
But you were very close to getting him when you had queen and king against king.
Oh my God, I'm so slow.
Because I don't know if you noticed, but you started with 8 seconds, and I actually I would have put money on you to finish him in 8 seconds.
Yeah, I would have put money on myself if it was in the app, because in the app you would play on your phone or iPad, or if it's on a chess site and you moved with the mouse. But somehow the combination that it's the BlueStacks software that catches the apps, I couldn't click as quickly as I would normally.
Right.
Maybe I need to practice more with this specific software, because I know that I could do it in normal circumstances, even with a touchpad or on a chess platform, but somehow on BlueStacks, everything felt way slower.
Right. Yeah, because he did seem to be somehow playing quicker than you, but we wondered, there seemed to be a point just when you had like 5 seconds left and he was forced back to the G file with the king.
Yeah.
We thought you made a pre-move. Did you do that? Your mouse seemed to go
Yes.
to like you wanted to pre-move on F5, play King F5, but then he played some weird random move.
Yes, exactly. You're right. So I made a pre-move, which I thought I would be able to do, but his move made my pre-move illegal because he moved the king to the other square. So that made me lose a couple of seconds because my pre-move was cancelled, and at the same time I had to think of a new move. So I think that was crucial. You're right.
Yeah, that was very, very good blitz technique from him, to be fair.
Yes.
Because I was kind of in your mindset. I was going, yeah, right now, pre-move F5, he goes there, it's all over, she'll do it with 2 seconds to spare, and then all of a sudden, oh no.
Yeah, I had the same feeling, and good blitz technique. I think it's the kind of thing that some of us who are not that used to blitz without increment, because normally I play with increment, I never really get into these situations where I have to win that quick. So yeah, kudos to him for using the time on his side. 2 or 3 games were decided because of the time pressure and me going really low on time.
Yes.
Even the game where I was 2 exchanges down, I remember I had 2 knights versus 2 rooks.
Yeah, I thought you were doing that brilliantly for a long time. Yes, that's right.
I tricked him.
That's right.
I tricked him. I could have taken, I was about to take the second rook too, and then the king and pawn in game, I take the d3 pawn.
Yes.
But I was once again too slow, and I lost that game too.
Yes.
On time.
It was funny though, because Jeff was saying, Jeff's a poker player, and he was saying, well, it's 2 rooks against 2 knights, big material disparity. I was saying, well, the knights are really tricky in blitz.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule Anna's chances out because she's got 2 knights, because it's so hard, isn't it, in blitz when your opponent's got 2 knights. And you did that beautiful fork and got yourself back in the game. And also you held out. He couldn't break through. That you had this amazing configuration. It seems like there's a choker strategy being formed, particularly in this match, of you just huddle up in a ball and you cover all the entry squares, and you just
Come for me if you can.
you think you can break me out of my little hidey hole in 120 seconds? Come on, try me. Because I thought that was very clever, the way he connected his knights in one of those games, and it was so hard for you.
When I had the exchange up, I had my rooks on the back rank. I was pinning all his minor pieces, and still there was no breakthrough. And he had all these checks with the queen. So I decided I need to go for an endgame, and that was winning too. That led to the queen up and mate position. But yeah, I was too slow because it took me a while to realize that I have to go for the end game. I was trying to win by pushing e5, e6 and some tactics on the back rank.
Yes, but it worked perfectly. You did it beautifully. I mean, it was almost a perfect game, actually. I think the way you handled it, it just unfortunately just ran out of time. And I guess in the second and third clashes, particularly the third, the cards were a little unfavourable, right? There was not a lot you could do in some respects.
Yes, unfortunately, the third
with a short stack, particularly, and you're committed, right? And
I was forced to, and the third game didn't go through. But I saw the picture that Raffael sent me. He had a queen in that one too. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, well, I guess like chess, choker can be cruel. What can you do? Yeah. But thank you for playing so well and for entertaining us and for being a fine choker ambassador. I'm sure we'll see you in our future tournaments.
Thank you so much, Malcolm, and thank you so much everyone for watching. And tune in for the next match next week.
And download the app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.